Evening, lads. It is I. Just make sure everything is working properly. Bit of a late start today. I got sidetracked and looked at the time and it was like 10 past 5. I was like, oh, fuck. Where is the sound? Pretty decent. Thanks for dropping in, folks. As for rogue subclass, I'm just a combat medic. It feels like the most straightforward. I think one thing to think about is that being a healer as a rogue is already 100% just a thing that you can do. Is be a thief and and you can use whatever the thief's ability is with the healer feat to basically just have a bonus action heal, and because you're a rogue, you know, you're pretty fast if you need to be. Like, if you really need to get to someone, you can dash to them and then apply the healer feat to them. And the healer feat heals for a lot. Only like once per short rest, but really that's all you need most of the time. Combat healing, you know, again, I'll iterate this general rule of both for designers and players. In 5th edition, in 5th edition, combat healing is terrible. It's bad, and there's like 2 spells that make it worthwhile. And that is heal, a 5th level spell, or a 6th level spell, sorry, and mass heal. And I guess power word heal as well, but power word heal is just a worse version of mass heal, so whatever. Yes, GM Workshop. I think I saw that. I'm fairly certain I did. I'm not super... Slight flourish. I think... Oh, yes, I think... I have heard of these guys. Yeah, say the... That's a... Oh, sweet. Yeah, say the... Oh, nice. When was this? Was this yesterday? I don't think it has enormously, but ultimately, you know, it's not like, it's nice to see people giving a shit, you know. Like, that's like I have a very sort of staunch, I'll say, yeah, I heard about it. The editor for the book, Hidden Dave, was basically, you know, we had like a small group chat or whatever for talking about the book's release, and he was like, oh, Sly Flourishes, and I was just like, oh, that's cool, and I didn't actually know who the dude was. I still don't, to a degree, but I will have to look into that, because hang on, I will open this thing in a new tab, and yes, pause that. Pause, not play. There we go. But yes, then thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, I'd say it's the series name rings a bell to me. I've definitely heard of it. And is it? Let me just check something real quick, because I have a feeling. But yeah, I'd say where? Oh no. Yeah, say the on that note, see if it works this time. Does it work? It does work. Yeah, but I released a book last week. It's Van Richten's Pocketbook to Ravenloft. If you liked the Ravenloft book or Curse of Strahd, especially if you liked Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, then you will probably, you know, no legal guarantees there. You know, you might fucking hate it. No, I don't think I've seen this before. I'll take a bit of a gander at this in a bit. But yeah, so Van Richten's Guide is or Pocketbook. Sorry, I chose a very awkward name for it. But you know, whatever. I don't really care. Yeah, words. Van Richten's Pocketbook has got like some new domains in it, I'm a big fan of the name, but the amount of times I've fucked it up and just called it Van Richten's Guide is less than my publisher has, but I've still done it a lot. I'd say my only like point of my like desire with it was to make a bunch of cool domains, and I ended up coming up with way more ideas than I could reasonably have written. I say I'm starving as well. I'm probably gonna take an early break today to go eat food, but yeah, so I came up with way more ideas than I needed to, and I there's 5 in the book, and like there's some classes, there's a couple subclasses, there's a what do they got? A lineage. There we go. Those are the words I'm looking for. And then there's the 5 domains, and I ended up coming up with ideas for like 7, 8, 9 domains, and obviously they're all just notes, but I would take any excuse to go and write another one of those, because it was so much fun to write. There's a lot of very indulgent, you get to be very indulgent writing big flamboyant villains and stuff. It's very fun. For someone who's not like a big prose writer, getting to write characters in a D&D book, which I've not really been able to do all that much before, it's good fun. It's really good fun. There's a bunch of monsters in there as well, which I'm really happy with. But yeah, I'm gonna stop plugging my crap now and actually like work on the thing that I'm supposed to be working on. I was like, oh fuck, there are people here doing the numbers. Damn, look at me go. I'll say, yeah, no, so if you're looking to review it, do contact my publisher. I should imagine he would be completely fine with just giving you a review copy if you want to take a look at it. Because I'm not in charge of distribution. I don't. It's not, it's not on my account as punished by Christian Zooch or oh god, no, okay. That's fair. I'd say my favorite thing, without question, was the domain of Gowl, and it is a fairly small domain. Ooh, there are some people in here with some very spicy opinions on that. I am okay with this poll. I will start this poll in a second. Katie's on it. It's all good. But Gowl is basically it is a town, a pretty small town. It's called Chinswick. It's a sort of fairly simple, like sort of parts of it are sort of quite modern, and others are much older. The Dark Lord is a guy called Martimus Jack, and he's a showrunner. He's like a writer and a producer and an actor. And his whole thing is he forces everybody in on the domain to basically just be actors in his terrible show. And whenever he gets bored or his immersion gets broken, he just scraps everything and just Martimus. Like Martimus. Like that. Damn. Yes, yeah, someone spent their goddamn channel points, yeah. Hang on. Sadly, I can't spend my channel points, because, yes, it is, so the domain of Chinswick is built atop all of these, like, discarded other settings for his show. Chinswick is like the latest iteration. So you get all these lower levels filled with discarded things, and the current level is like a soap opera. It's like all the dumb soap opera tropes, and oh, it's wonderful. It was very indulgent writing that. That was the best bit, by a long shot. Oh wow, yeah, people are spending those channel points, huh? Say, if it were goblins, as in goblins, not goblinoids, versus kobolds, I would pick kobolds. But if you're picking all goblinoids, then that includes hobgoblins, which I like more than kobold. Basically, my list is hobgoblins, kobolds, and then all the other and then goblins, and then bugbears. Because hobgoblins are awesome, and I love them. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started on the thing now. Basically, for the last few weeks, God, it must be like 6, 7, 8 weeks at this point, I've been redesigning the Mystic, and I assume everybody here is probably aware of what the Mystic is. Either they've been in a previous explanation where I've talked about it, or they're just kind of aware. But in case there's anyone who isn't, because that's some necessary context. Very early Unearthed Arcana, we're talking like 2016 at the earliest, like a couple years after the game came out at the most. Wizards just released an Unearthed Arcana. Here is a class. It is called the Mystic. This is what Psionics in 5th edition is going to be like. Test it for us. And that's what most Unearthed Arcana is like. It's, here's what this is going to be. Test it and see if it's broken. And it usually is broken. The Mystic was so broken and so widely disliked by GMs who had players demanding that they get to play it, that Wizards officially abandoned the concept and have since gone about putting psionics in the game in a very subdued fashion. We've gotten things like the Soul Knife, the Psy Warrior, Aberrant Mind Sorcerer, and I think that's it on this. Oh, there's a Warlock patron, I think. No, that's probably the Great Old One. So yeah, no, there's the Sorcerer, there's the Fighter, and then there's the Rogue. And I think that's it for psionics in the game, and they're probably not really going to do much more with it. Monks, I guess, are kind of psionic in and of themselves, but whatever. And the concept of the Mystic I actually really like. I think it's sort of like the middle ground between a wizard and a monk, and that's kind of what I want to emulate here. And the way this class works, it is a class with no subclass. You don't pick one, there is never a stage where you get to pick a subclass. On the flip side, you trade off that point of customization for basically a class that has like 20 skill trees that you can spec into whatever speed that you choose, or in whatever way that you choose. There is some limitations, like you can't just immediately race to the top of a skill tree for one of the powers, because that would be insane. But yeah, that is more or less how it works. And I've been slowly going through making powers for all of the different for all of the different disciplines, which I pretty much ripped wholesale from 3.5. The disciplines are just like grouping the powers together. They don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but you know, whatever. So, for example, one of the clairsentience powers is Enlightened Senses. We've actually made all 4 of the meta-creativity powers, meta-creativity being like Green Lantern, where you like use mind nonsense to make stuff. So you've got Astral Construction, which makes a buddy. Energy Projection, which empowers your Psychic Blast ability. It's like Eldritch Blast, basically. It's Eldritch Blast for Mystics. Meta Protection is making shields and shit. And Weapon Meta Creation is, do you like being a Gish? If the answer is yes, pick this, and you get a weapon that's you're fairly competent in using in it. You know, you get like a special weapon that you can customize. There's Pathoturgy, which I've not written any powers for yet, but I do have the 4 things I want to do lined out. Psychokinesis, which is moving shit with your mind. And then there's Psychometabolism, which is like using your mind to enhance your body in various ways. And we are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are halfway through making the powers and about halfway through making the base class as well. Like, we've got this many features that just sort of improve the way the class works. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these empty levels, given that. Well, I'll come to that hurdle when I get there. Basically, this is the whole point of me streaming stuff on here and like making stuff is I never get super nitty gritty on the details. Like, I go back in my own time and catch things and change things and whatever and stuff like that. I think given the amount they experimented with Mystic and a lot of the recontextualizing they are doing with like the Gemstone Dragons and stuff, I don't know if it's inevitable. I definitely don't think it's inevitable, but I think it's something we may well see. And whilst I would personally like to release this Mystic, I have, I've yet to really release anything I've made on stream just because I just haven't had the time, to go out and like commission the artist I work with because she's got shit to do, like her own personal projects and other projects she's working on for me. She's partway through editing doing stuff for my next project that comes out September, October, probably October, November time, something like that. But that's coming along. But yeah, basically, we're going to make powers today. There's a very long preamble for I'm going to make some powers. And I don't actually know where to start. I'm kind of probably just going to just point at something and go, I'm going to start here, I'm going to do this. Because if I just and ah about what exactly I want to do, so I got precognition. Yeah, same. Thanks for stopping by. Much appreciated. But yeah, so I've got these 3 clairsentience powers, which I think could be interesting. I could make psychometry. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna dive straight into it. Just make psychometry. Psychometry, like that. I think that's how that's spelled. I've also, this needs to be a H3 header. And let's see what the flavor text for this. Clairsentience power. I mean, their origins and their inner workings. Let me just take a sip of my tea. I've been talking for a while. Need some liquids. It's quite bland tasting, but whatever. Not a big deal. God, I look pasty as hell. I'm going to turn the brightness down on this fucking screen. I still look pasty white, but I look less unnaturally pasty. I don't look like a Halloween ghost. I just look quite white. So there we go. There's a grand old improvement there. Their inner workings, right? So the powers are split up into levels. So when you learn a power, you are a novice in that power, and then as you so once you reach 3rd, you can become adepts. An adept in your powers. When you get to 9th, you can become an expert in your powers, and at 13th, you can become a master in your powers. You don't automatically become this. You have to spend your like skill points or whatever to skip up them. Like the skill points have a name, but they're called power points, which is a dumb name. Because alliteration doesn't really work here, and also PowerPoint is a Microsoft Office product. And I really just want to not have to deal with those kinds of jokes when people are actually playing this thing. You're a novice in psychometry. Let me just go read, like... As much, it's fuel. Metric points is not something, a name I'm going to keep, but it needs a name for the sake of referencing. Power points are specifically, they're like skill points in a video game. They're not something you're actually going to expend in combat, so will energy doesn't really work here. Honestly, I could just call them skill points, but like, skills are a thing in the game, and the skill points don't impact your skills, they impact your powers. So, I don't know, I'll just come up with some arbitrary name for it. It ultimately does not matter what they're called. But, yeah, whatever, right? Right, let me go grab the other ones that let you cast spells, of which there are several. Now, what detect spells are there? Ignoring detect thoughts, because I want to put that in elsewhere. Spells, detect, there we go. Detect evil and good, detect magic, and detect poison and disease. Those are the three. If anything, I feel like just detect magic and detect poison and disease. I think that works. I think. I have my own sort of philosophy for making gods. Is I'm not personally a fan, unless there is significant precedent for it. I'm a big fan of the Eberron method, I think, of making gods. You know, I've written a book about like a source book of gods. It's like a whole thing. It came out last year. And I'm a big fan of the Eberron method of making gods, where the gods are not expressly real. You know, there is no physical evidence that the gods are real. I like that semblance of realism. Clerics and paladins get their powers through belief. And, you know, they may believe that their power actually comes from their god, but in reality it's their belief in the concept of their god. It's how, how you can justify having blatantly evil people being clerics of a good god. That's kind of my sort of way of justifying that. Like, if this god is a real entity that exists, why, there needs to be a reason why they're not intervening and stopping this evil, or why they're still giving power to this evil person. And the other way around as well. Like, if you've got a good aligned, cleric to a evil aligned god, or a good aligned cleric to a neutral aligned god, like, whatever, right? The gods not explicitly being real is something I'm big on. And then from there, I'm not really a fan of, like, oh yeah, this world has a pantheon of gods. If, again, if you have a world where the gods are expressly real beings that you can meet and talk to, not necessarily easily, but, you can theoretically meet them and talk to them, then that's fine, right? Still not really a fan of the trope, because it feels very, very tropey for me. So my method is, gods are cultural, like just distinctly cultural. If there is a culture that worships your god or this god, then that god is born from their culture and what they believe in, what they believe is right and what they believe is wrong, and their god represents one or more aspects of what is good or bad about that culture. Like Christianity, for instance, we have there is a god who represents all of the good things, and there is Satan who represents all of the bad things. Obviously, Satan isn't a god, but for all intents and purposes, he might as well be. Anything that is evil is represented by Satan and hell. Everything is good that is good, the things that we perceive as good and bad. And obviously that perception changes and morphs and grows, because that's how culture works. It changes and grows for better or for worse. So yeah, if you have a god, if you have a people that think that the core values of them is honor, loyalty. Here's an example, actually. In a setting in a game that I run on a Thursday, there is a society of people called the Safali, and they are they're kind of like Tritons. They're not as weird looking as Tritons, but they're kind of like Tritons. They're fish-esque people. Doesn't really matter. It's kind of irrelevant. But they have 3 core tenets. They believe in individuality, they believe in honor, and they believe in justice. That is like justice of the self, and also of we should strive to be like a law-abiding society that has rules grounded in moral goods that we all collectively strive to follow. And they have 6 gods, 3 gods that represent those good things. They have a god of honor, they have a god of justice, and they have a god of individuality. Individuality being like personal individuality. I am my own person, and also things of expression like the arts and craft and creation and stuff like that. And then they have 3 evil gods, which represents the antithesis of those things. Things that, you don't have to have like this duality thing where there's a god for the good thing and a god for the bad thing. You just have a god for the good thing or just a god for the bad thing. Like, that's fine. But they have a god of like deception, which is dishonorable. They have a god of just chaos, which is the opposite of order and justice, and they have a god of like almost like not really conformity, but of everybody being the same. They're like a hive mind being, and that's the opposite of what they want. They want everybody to be their own unique person, and if everybody's just the same, then that's bad, to them at least. It's a very long-winded thing, but that's basically I wouldn't necessarily call it advice, but I would call it, this is how I think about it. have a think about how you feel about what I've just said. If you agree with the things that I've said, then go ahead, like, follow that and take it as advice. But if you think about that and you're like, oh, I don't really care about that kind of stuff, that seems dumb, then just don't do it, right? That's, basically do whatever the fuck you want, but, you know, like, I don't have a grander point here. Do whatever you want, but that is how I do it. That is my belief and understanding. Also, with that comment about mental keys, I do like that. That's interesting. I'll have a toy with that. Now, my idea for psychometry is that you can spend your points to learn things. The idea of psychometry is sort of pivoting back to doing the work we're here to do. Not that I don't, I like going on tangents. I have absolutely no issues with going on big long tangents. So don't feel discouraged for asking questions and so on. But the idea for psychometry is I wanted to have like a point system inbuilt to that power specifically, so that you have your metric points or whatever the hell they end up being called, and they fuel most of your abilities. And if you believe what you are doing is wrong, then why should be such God? I think so, yeah. It's sort of it's kind of a step. It's sort of a step further from like the Everon ideal, where the gods are explicitly malleable, and presumably within the society, unless it's specifically not the case, all of those like primordials would probably have like generically popular, churches of, we think you should believe, you should worship this way because we say so, we know better than you, we're smart people, or whatever, we're religious scholars, we're theologists. Then that could be a very interesting facet of that world, is dealing with the idea of free faith versus the establishment of a church. Whatever stage along that timeline you're on, whether the churches are coming into being. Hang on, this side, I forgot, I'm flipped. This side, at the start where the churches are formed, in the middle where there's kind of the tug between, like, free thinking, just believe in the gods however you want to interpret them, and no, we are the church, we say that Greg the Earth God, or whatever, he really dislikes wearing polo shirts, I guess. I don't know, I couldn't think of anything. He dislikes polo shirts. You shouldn't be wearing them. Whatever, this is a terrible analogy. And then sort of at the far end of the spectrum, where the churches are kind of like being pulled to bits because people are like, wait, yeah. I think that push and pull between the church telling you what to believe and what you actually believe, that's a really interesting thing, and I would highly recommend exploring it. As somebody who is aggressively anti-establishment, and like anti-authoritarian, like a little biased, but I know there's a facts and logic joke under there, Joe. I know what you're doing. For fuck's sake. I think as an actual world building point, it's also a good point, but also I can see the facts and logic joke coming, for fuck's sake. Christ. That is probably something that will go into pathoturgy, is my thought, anyway. If I have space for it. But, like, I think I've said before, but having specific, like, I want to have 4 powers per discipline. I don't want to like have 5 for some and 4 for others. If I can, like, I will, if I have like an influx of lots of good ideas, then I'll still go for it. But yeah, basically I want to try and keep it even. But at the end of the day, I might just say fuck it and just make more. I do like psychic vampirism. I'm kind of at capacity for disciplines, but I'm open to ideas. Okay, yeah. I say I'll probably be going. I'll be taking a quick break soon to grab food, anyways. But yeah. That's all good. Yeah, sure. I say yeah, Fena, you can. Oh no. Oh, fucking Ben Shapiro joke. It's a very specific form of comedy, but it gets me every time. What do you mean? What are they gonna do, Ben? Sell their homes to who? Fucking Aquaman. It gets me every time. It's so good. Oh, okay. So do shoot your discipline idea. I'm curious to see what it is, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna like fill out 4+ powers. You know, if it does, then 100%. I'll slap it on the list. But we need something in here. I mean, that's true. That's not wrong. Sell your house to a merfolk. It has appreciating value. It'll eventually be underwater, and then you can live in it. You see. You'll unlock more floors to the house as time goes on. It depends from world to world, really. Like, again, like if you have like a faith, think about, because a faith is always born from a culture. Always, like, the only instance where that is not the case is when a culture is built upon a faith, but that faith will still have been built upon a previous, no longer existing culture. So, obviously they can be simple, and they can be fairly, you know, they don't have to be big, grandiose concepts. If you have a god of, you know, basically the only thing I would steer away from is like, look at this guy, he's the god of fire, right? Because, you know, unless fire specifically represents a broader concept, or even just a specific concept within the world, why are they the god of fire? Why do they worship the guy who does fire? That feels like a psychometry. Okay, yeah, like as long as that is reflected in the culture, you know, basically the way something like that would work is you would get a culture of people who see fire as something that represents freedom. You know, fire burns away the things that hold us. You know, maybe they have a history, they were enslaved or whatever by aboleths or an ancient empire or whatever, and they burnt that to the ground, and fire was their symbol. And now they're like, you know, years later, that kind of evolves up and is like, well, what is higher concept this, right? You know, fire gave us freedom. Well, maybe fire is a person. You know, and maybe his name is Greg Freedom Man, whatever. I don't know. Coming up with names on the spot's hard, but you know, that's it's not like always how, you know, gods are formed, but that seems like a you know, very sort of basically Gods can be whatever the fuck you want as long as there's a contextual reason for them being the way that they are. Whether it's, convoluted and a little historical and weird, or whether it's super straightforward. Like, both are equally fine. It's just as long as there is something, where you don't just have, like, a surface level of, here is the god of fire, he is a fireman. He probably has a sub-theme in the Forge, because Hephaestus is kind of cool. That's... Yeah, like... That's as long as it's not Fire the God. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if there's specifically design space for something like that. I would definitely change the name just outright, just because it was I'm not sure what specifically to, but I would definitely change it a lot. It seems more like a power than a discipline. That's for certain. It would probably be psychometabolism, maybe, but even then, it's kind of nebulous in exactly how it would work and what it would do. So, I don't know. It's kind of neat, but psychoanalyze as a bonus action on your turn. Again, analyzing their weaknesses. Yeah, I say the I do have on my list of things. I have like allocritic enhancement, and the last psychometabolism ability on my list is like a strength enhancement thing. It lets you, punch stuff good, I guess. And there's also bodily adaptation, which just makes you tougher. Oh no, psionic tenacity. Sorry, which just makes you tougher. And it gives you self-heal, gives you better max hit points, stuff like that. For as long as you focus on this creature. Whenever... So you start with 3 metric points, just because... actually, two is probably fine. Oh, I know what to do here. I think after I finish the novice level of this, I'm going to take probably a 10 or 15 minute break because I'm really hungry and I want to go grab some food. I'll be gone about 15 minutes and I'll be back for another half an hour or so before I need to go to my game. Where am I going? Here we go. Let me go read, because Soul Knife has a very similar ability. Short long rest again, unless you expend a metric point to use. There we go. Right, straight from Soul Knife. That works, I think. To get free cast to detect magic and detect poison and disease, and then to do it again, you have to expend metric points. Oh, that's something. They cost either of any one of these spells using this feature once, after which you must complete. You must complete. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that works. So I'm just going to mark out. So adept. Simple. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Yeah, okay, right. I'm going to take a break here. I'll be gone probably about 10 to 15 minutes. When I get back, we're going to carry on with this. Probably going to finish Psychometry, and I'm going to make a start on the next power. Maybe work on some class features, not sure. Yeah, I had a bit of a late start today, but oh well, it's not the end of the world. Either way, if you've got to head off over the break, that's all good. You know, go ahead, do whatever it is you need to do. It's all good. I'll be back shortly. See you in a minute. return. Hello. Whereas the music was not on loud enough until now. I have turned it back up. Or turned it up, just in general. But hello. Yes, I have returned. Right. It's gotten very dark all as well. Just kind of dingy outside. It's still broad fucking daylight. It's just grey. Right. Okay. I'm just going to carry on with psychometry. Just pretty much pick up right where I left off. Where do I have a ping? Who has pinged me? Okay, right. Project I'm working on, or I'm a part of, is some editing stuff. Beginning of each of your turns. Oh. Oh. Let me just go look at the old Battle Master real fast. You know what, no, this ability check is just redundant. Oh god, I need to clear my fucking throat, cry. Oh, right, okay. Just untie my hair real quick. Oh. Oh. Just sorting my hair out. Okay, so what is the term they use for different types of speeds? Let me just go grab the monster manual real quick. Rather than a d6. Okay, that's cool. I think that works. I think this is just kind of like a generic improvement, just makes you a little bit better. The nature, function, origins, or workings of a magical or mechanical device. Nice. I mean, not nice that you burned the courgettes, but nice that you have returned. Now, my kind of concern with this ability is that Psychoanalyze isn't all that exciting. I don't think it's bad, mind you, but I just don't think it's all that intriguing. But I imagine that can be remedied further on down the line. Hmm. I guess that would be this. This would just be a D10. Let's the result of a creature's attack roll. You regain the expended metric point. Oh, this should go down here. God, I need to clear my throat again. Fuck. Oh, Christ. Alright. That feels kind of strong. Like you can expend one of your points to gain advantage on an in-whiz or charisma save. Oh, I know, actually. This is a fun piece of rules text I like to steal for stuff all the time, because I think it's a really good bit of design space. To be fair, Minecraft is pretty engrossing. Every so often, I'll get back into it and then be absorbed for some length of time. It's pretty reasonable. I like that. I think I like that ability. I think that kind of works. Honestly, yeah, I feel like it needs one more sort of next step to be really good. And I think the next step is to... nice. And just flat out gives you advantage in Wiz and Charisma saves, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it's not the most like crazy thing in the world. I don't think it's the best one. I don't think it's the worst one either. I'm kind of happy with how that's come out. I think it's cool. So, whilst I didn't get an enormous amount done today, I probably should stop there, just because I need to go to a game in like 5 minutes. Sadly, there is no one like streaming right now at all, so I can't raid anybody, which kind of sucks. But that's not really that big of a deal. I should probably stop there. I didn't get anywhere near as much done as I would want to, but it's not the end of the world, doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I say that's probably where I'm gonna stop things for today. Hope folks have enjoyed themselves. I do this every Monday for those who are new. Feel free to press the buttons, the follow, sub, whatever. I just do whatever you want. Like, it's your fucking decision. Yeah, I do this every Monday. This weekend, I'm trying to think when I'm busy. I think I'm busy on the Friday, and I think I'm not busy on the Sunday, in which I'll be starting, I think, like a Pokemon game on Sunday, and I'll be back doing this next week as well. My schedule is kind of all over the place at the moment. I'm I'm not used to having like 2 days a week where I'm like busy all afternoon, which wipes out my time to actually work on the shit I need to work on. So I'm just kind of floundering around, not getting much done at the moment, so I can't save that much time for streaming. I always just seem to have things going on. I will almost certainly be around on Sunday. And I will be, feel free to follow my Twitter or whatever. It's at DiceAverageJack. It's my... Oh yeah, there's the bot has very kindly just slapped my portfolio, and that's got all my crap on it. If you want to go, see things, I guess, links to all of my socials and all of my sort of contact info and nonsense like that, that's all there. So, yeah. Hope folks have enjoyed themselves. I'm gonna head out now, because I want to go make tea and then go to my game. But yeah. Hopefully see you guys going forward. See ya.